big dog. My calculations are correct.
Hey, idiot.
You look dumb.
You look stupid. That's what that is, though. Wives are great, though.
Positively, yes. Hello, my name is Christine and welcome back to the channel. And today I have some of the men in my life and we're going to do conversation. What did you call it?
I said it's an improv conversation.
It's an improvisation. Let me introduce you to these fellas if you're new around here and haven't seen some previous videos. This is my husband Dave. He's been on the channel a little bit more. This is my brother Steven. He is 5 years younger than I am and he is not single. I get that question every dang video you are in. It's so annoying.
I'm aware of the effect that I have on women.
It's the Wrangler jeans and the boots. Okay, they both do have their own YouTube channels if you want to check them out. Steven's is about weird things that he does, which is almost everything. And Dave's is about being
married to you.
Married to me, and all the things I make him do. The main topic for this video, or at least what I'm gonna start with, is something that Dave said to me that really rings true. And it's basically, why is Steven so weird? That's
not how I would.
No,
fair.
no, it
That's
isn't.
fair, yeah.
You did not grow up on a farm. When I first met you, you were kind of wild.
Yeah, how old was I then?
You were like
16.
16. You were like 16.
15.
Okay, 15.
Starting to feel a bit like an ambush.
All of a sudden, you're a trail runner. And then the next thing I hear, you're building guitars. And then you're raising cattle.
He's a
Yeah.
trapper.
And then you're a trapper. I
Yeah.
forgot about the trapping part.
Straight blade razors.
Yeah.
Okay, so my point is, you've gone from thing to thing to thing. It's been a lot of things.
This is how I would describe you to other people.
Okay.
Okay, I would say Steven is a hurricane. You find something, running, okay, trail running.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just hang over it with this crazy intensity, like a hurricane.
Yeah.
You know? And then you move on.
Yeah, once I
To
feel like
build guitars, and then he's done with that. And then he starts his own business and builds guitars and sells guitars, and it's amazing. And then, nope, now we're a trapper, and we're over here. This is Steven. And now, it's cowboy.
Everything you do very well. The horses and whatnot, and you look like you've been doing it your whole life. Why do you move from thing to thing?
Okay.
And how do you get so dang good so fast?
You look like you've done it your whole life, but he knows you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get that comfortable and that good when you have not grown up with it your whole life?
So we'll start with why. I don't know why. I have an intense burning, like, wanderlust.
Oh my gosh, I said that yesterday.
Yeah. And desire to just see and experience everything. I don't know what that comes from. And I like go from thing to thing to thing, and I do. And usually what happens is I find this thing that interests me, and I get into it, and I read everything, and I watch every YouTube video, feel really, really comfortable with it. What I generally do is say, okay, well, let's try something different. Let's see what else there is out there.
Hey, Editing Christine here. I'm just looking at this video with Steven, and I think I just want to preface this next section with, I think Dave is trying to really analyze where Steven's ability to become good at things very, very quickly comes from when he knows his background. So Steven, you'll see this in a second, but Steven really, really struggled in school. We tried homeschool for a bit, kind of. That didn't work very well. My parents were getting divorced at this time. Public schools did not do well for him. When I found out he was going to college, I was like, what? School and him didn't vibe, even though I thought he was an intelligent person and extremely curious. We're just trying to figure out, like, where does this come from? This desire to learn. How does he become good at so many things? Why does he change around in so many things?
And what you study in college? You studied international
Political science.
Political science.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Steven that's irritating. With me, at least. Sometimes he'll call or we'll be at dinner and he'll like just start a conversation about, pick a topic, whatever. It's a lot of time it is politics. And he's like, what do you think about fill in the blank? And I'll be like, sometimes I get caught off guard because I'm like, I actually don't really know that much about that. Or I'll be like, oh, I kind of think this about this, or like this situation over here is maybe you should be like this. And he will fight. He will fight with anything I say. It doesn't matter what my answer is, what my stance is. It doesn't matter what it is, he will argue with me. And he will push me back, and push me back over and over and over again. He wants me to pick apart my opinion and figure out why it is that way. Because most of the time at the end of the conversation, when I'm about to punch him, he's like, by the way, I agree with you. But he just, I don't know, he just wants to see like how deep I'm gonna dig to hold my position and if I truly believe it in the first place.
So
which is quite an exercise to tear apart your own position and see if it actually works and makes sense.
I can be irritating. This may make you feel worse. Maybe better, but maybe worse. The reason I have these kind of exercises, these arguments with you, is actually more for me than it is for you. That's how self-centered I am. It's the easiest way for me to pick apart my own opinion is to talk about it with somebody. As I get a fuller picture of the concept of whatever it is that we're talking about, it allows me to really shape how I think about it.
Yeah, and in school as a kid was not good for you.
Well, it was awful. So I went to public schools. I don't want to say schools failed me, because I think that's a little bit of a mistake. But schools were not built for somebody who thinks and behaves like I do. And it doesn't mean that I'm stupid. It doesn't mean
I think you're quite the opposite.
No, I think you're very intelligent.
Incredibly intelligent, but you do not fit the traditional mold.
I don't fit the traditional mold of how people learn, or at least the way we think people learn. I'm just so bored to tears in school. A lot of kids. So there's a lot of kids that had ADD like me who really struggle, but these kids are brilliant. And so they end up doing really poorly, dropping out of high school, which is what I did, and end up starting businesses and becoming multimillionaires. At some point after I left school, I discovered that I liked to learn. And that happened through books.
You have to understand, the teacher in me, right? I'm very, very curious.
Yeah, sure.
Because I've seen so many students like that were good kids.
Eventually I figured out how to con my way into college. I don't know how I did that. That was the first time I felt like I wasn't stupid. Basically told I was stupid the whole time.
Right.
And they put me in special ed with kids that had really legitimate issues, and I remember thinking am I is this what I am?
You intimidate me.
Like now or then?
Now.
Why?
Just talking with Steven, he is so much more of a critical thinker than I am. I feel like
that's why it's annoying to talk to him. He is smarter than a lot of people.
So I have to keep myself reserved so that you think I know more than I actually do. That's my strategy.
No, that I don't know how to take that, Dave.
That's a compliment.
Well, I would take it as a compliment.
And that's
That's nice. I appreciate it.
If someone told me they were intimidated by me, I would take that as a compliment.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's good, because that means you're portraying a strong, confident person, and they're like, "Wow, that's."
So what's funny about
that's impressive. Most people aren't that.
I don't want to be intimidating.
Well, I don't want to be intimidating, but I do want to be seen as strong and confident. And to people, that is intimidating. Perhaps Dave gets a different side because he's family.
Maybe.
Than perhaps strangers or casual acquaintances.
Yeah, going back to being a kid and really having a low estimation of my own ability because of a lot of the external, comments that were made. That was not fun as a kid. I'm grateful for all that now, though. I can hear somebody's comment or remark about me, and I can say, no, you're wrong. That's incorrect.
That really comes in handy on YouTube, by the way.
From having an entire childhood of teachers tell me I was dumb and then realize, actually, they didn't know what they were talking about.
Your opinion of yourself is firm, so when someone out here is like, actually, you're this, and you'd be like, well, actually, you're wrong.
Actually, you're wrong, yeah. And that was very hard-earned. That didn't just happen. Oh, and a lot of people ask, in fact, talking about this now, I'm like, oh, that's where that came from. I never knew where that came from before, so I appreciate you actually talking to me about this.
Do you think the horse cowboy thing is going to stick around?
My wife and I, on our anniversary one year, we went on a horse ride. Mm-hmm. She got a couple horses, went on this ride, and I was like, oh my goodness, I found it. I found the thing that my life was meant to do.
Right.
And that was the moment where it all came together. Okay. And I was like, that's what I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And so I took the next couple of years and I moved my family out to the country. And my wife was like, I don't want to do this. You're insane. I should have never taken you on that dang horse ride. Kind of discovered what I felt like was my life passion.
Right. Thanks for the chat.
That was great.
Yeah,
boys.
I hope you enjoyed that.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
If you got any more questions for Steven, leave them below. And thanks for joining us today.
Well, thanks, guys. It was fun.
Bye. heard the best argument on why cats are better.
Why?
Because this guy was like, I can't handle the stress of a dog. Love me, are you coming to come back? Are you gonna,